A magnet and a paper clip. They are not touching. There is nothing between them but empty air. And yet, watch. The clip leaps across the gap, pulled by something it cannot see. How does it reach across empty space? The answer is one of the most beautiful ideas in physics, an invisible field filling the room around every magnet. The magnetic field. In the next few minutes we'll see what a field really is, why iron filings trace those graceful curves, and how a simple moving charge turns out to be the source of all magnetism. To see the field, we need a trick. Lay a bar magnet on a sheet of paper and scatter iron filings over it. At first they fall every which way, a random mess of tiny iron slivers. But give the paper a gentle tap, and the chaos snaps into order. Every filing swings around and lines up, tracing smooth curves that sweep from one pole to the other. The filings didn't create anything. They simply revealed a pattern that was already filling the space the magnetic field made visible. So what is this field, really? Here's the cleanest way to think about it. At every single point in space, the magnet assigns one arrow, a direction, and a strength. We call that arrow B, the magnetic field vector. Long where the field is strong, short where it's weak, and it points whichever way a tiny compass would. That's all a compass ever does. Drop it anywhere in the field, and its needle simply reads out the local arrow, the direction of B, right there. A field of separate arrows is a little busy. So we do something tidy, we connect them into continuous curves, field lines. Outside the magnet, every line leaves the North Pole and curves all the way around to the South Pole. The tangent at any point gives the field's direction. Lines crowding together mean a stronger field. And here's the part the filings can't show you. Inside the magnet, the lines keep going from south back to north, so every line closes on itself. Magnetic field lines have no beginning and no end. That single fact, closed loops, tells us something deep. Unlike electric charge, there is no lone north pole, no magnetic monopole. Cut a magnet in half, and each piece grows a brand new pair of poles. Here's a question worth pausing on. Could two field lines ever cross? Pause for a second and predict before I show you. Suppose they did. At the crossing point, the first line says the field points this way, and the second line says it points that way. But a compass placed right there can only point one way. The field can have just one direction at any point, so two different directions is a contradiction. So it simply cannot happen. Field lines never cross. Each point in space carries exactly one field arrow, no more, no less. Now for the heart of the chapter. Fill a region with a uniform field pointing straight into the screen. Those little crosses are its tails. Fire a positive charge through it, moving to the right. A stationary charge would feel nothing at all, but a moving one feels a force. And the force is strange. It doesn't point along the motion, and it doesn't point along the field. It points sideways to both, given by a cross product, F equals Q, V cross B. Its size is Q times V times B times the sine of the angle between velocity and field. Move along the field, and the force vanishes. Move across it, and the force is largest. Now here's the magic. Because the force is always perpendicular to the velocity, It can never speed the charge up or slow it down, it can only bend its path. A force that always turns, and never works, traces a perfect circle. Balance the magnetic force against the pull needed to go in a circle, and the radius drops out, mv over qb, faster particles sweep bigger circles. But the time for one lap, the period, depends only on the particle and the field, never on the speed. That speed independence is the secret behind the cyclotron. For 2000 years, electricity and magnetism seemed like separate worlds. Then, in 1820, Hans Christian Ørsted set a compass below a wire with the current switched off. Nothing. The needle sat still. But the moment he closed the switch and current flowed, the needle swung, snapping to a right angle across the wire. That tiny twitch changed physics forever. A flowing current produces a magnetic field. Moving charge is the true source of all magnetism, even inside a bar magnet, it's countless spinning electrons doing the work. So which way does the field point? Nature gives us a wonderfully simple bookkeeping trick, the right-hand rule. Take a wire carrying current straight up. Point your right thumb along the current. Your fingers then curl naturally around the wire, and that curl is exactly the direction of the magnetic field. The field wraps around the wire in circles, coming out of the page on one side, diving back in on the other. No start, no end, just loops encircling the current. Let's look straight down the wire now, so the current points into the page. By the right-hand rule, the field circles it clockwise. The field lines are perfect circles, centered on the wire. Close in, they are tight and strong, farther out, they spread and weaken. And the formula is beautifully clean. B equals mu naught I over 2 pi r. The strength grows with the current and falls off as 1 over the distance, double your distance from the wire, and the field halves. That mu naught is the permeability of free space, nature's fixed conversion factor between current and the magnetism it makes. Now take that straight wire and bend it into a loop. Watch what happens to the field. Around every part of the wire the field still circles, but now all those little circles reinforce each other through the middle of the loop and add up to a strong field punching straight through the center. And here's the punchline. One face of the loop becomes a north pole, the other a south. A current loop is, for all the world, a tiny bar magnet. We bundle its strength into one vector, the magnetic dipole moment, mu, equal to n times I times the area. Place it in a field and it feels a torque, mu cross B, twisting until it lines up, the very twist that turns an electric motor. One loop makes a modest magnet. So why stop at one? Stack many loops into a tight coil, a solenoid, and their fields pile up. Inside, the field becomes almost perfectly straight, even, and strong, a uniform field in a tube, the magnetic equivalent of the field between two charged plates. The field inside is mu naught times n, the turns per meter, times the current. Want it stronger? Add more turns, or push more current. Notice the radius doesn't even appear. And if you slide an iron core inside, the iron's own atoms join in and multiply the field hundreds of times over. That's an electromagnet, and unlike a permanent magnet, you can switch it on and off. Zoom out as far as you can to the whole Earth. A compass works anywhere on the planet, which means the planet itself must be a giant magnet. Picture a colossal bar magnet buried inside, tilted about 11 degrees from the spin axis. Its field lines arc out from near one pole, wrap around the globe, and dive back in at the other. And here's a delicious twist. Your compass needle's north end points toward the Arctic, but opposite poles attract, so the pole sitting up there is, in truth, a magnetic south. We only call it north for the direction it lies in. This isn't just elegant physics, it quietly runs your entire world. Let me show you 3 places it's hiding. 1. The electric motor. A current loop in a field feels that twisting torque, flip the current every half turn, and it spins forever. Every fan, drill, and electric car rides on this. 2. The MRI scanner. A superconducting solenoid wraps you in a field tens of thousands of times stronger than Earth's, lining up the protons in your body to image you without a single cut. And 3. The maglev train, lifted clean off its track by magnetic repulsion and pushed along at hundreds of kilometers an hour, touching nothing at all, the paperclip trick, scaled up to move people. So, magnetism, on 5 cards. A field is a direction at every point. A moving charge feels a sideways force, QV cross B, that bends it into a circle. Current is the source, a straight wire wraps the field in circles, and a coil concentrates it into a uniform beam. And underneath all 5 runs a single thread. Moving charge makes magnetism, and magnetism, in turn, pushes on moving charge. That perfect loop is the whole story. Next time, we'll turn this around completely and calculate the field that any current makes. Chapter 29, Magnetic Fields Due to Currents. If this made magnetism finally click, subscribe, and I'll see you there.